So you've decided to add your collectiveness to the Golgari Swarm. Deep beneath Ravnica, the swarm resides. But now they are emerging with a new ability, Undergrowth. Cards with Undergrowth get stronger for each creature card in your graveyard. The more creatures in your graveyard, the bigger the effect. Let's start off by looking at some of these Undergrowth creatures. Izani Thousand-Eyed. Now this is what you want to be doing with Undergrowth. Yes, it's a lot of mana. Yeah, the 2/3 is not great, but the fact you can make a ton of 1/1s, that's exactly what you want to do in this deck. Then you can just sacrifice them to gain a life, draw a card. Awesome, love this card on its own. Hatchery Spider, 7 mana, that's a lot, but it does have some good stats, 5/7 with reach, and its Undergrowth ability is interesting. I feel like it can get some things, but the fact that it's only green permanents, that kind of sucks. So I think I'd run this just for the stats alone, and then hope the Undergrowth gets me something. Coral Harpooner, 2 mana for a 3/2 with reach. Yeah, I'll play that any day, and the fact they can take out something that has flying with its Undergrowth ability, that's awesome. I would play this card even if I didn't have like an Undergrowth strategy. Just really good. Rhizome Lurcher, 4 mana for a 2/2. That's not very good, but its Undergrowth ability can make it, not bad. I mean, I wish it had some kind of evasion, trample, or something, but this is a fine creature at common. It's going to be pretty big late game, so that's nice. Early game, probably going to be a 4/4 most of the time, and you're going to play that. Molder Hulk. Now this one, 9 mana is way too much for this. You really need the Undergrowth ability to help it out. But when you think about it, say you have 4 creatures in your graveyard. That makes this 5 mana for a 6/6, but it makes the Lurcher 4 mana 6/6. So which one's better? I think I'd rather play the Lurcher over Molder Hulk. So a fine card for Molder Hulk. And its second ability is okay. It's not that great. But yeah, wish it had evasion too. Crawl Foragers, 5 mana for a 4/4. Not very impressive. And its ability only gains you some life. But you're still going to play this. It's going to be a fine card towards the end. If you're behind, it gains you life, which can bring you back a little bit. But yeah, nothing I'm over the moon on. Lotlith Giant. This card, I don't actually think this is pretty good. Maybe in Sealed, it can do like a really good amount of damage towards the end of the game. But 7 mana is a lot for something that can get chump blocked. And if you get early game, it's just going to sit in your hand forever. But it's mainly for late game. Maybe just get that damage over, but I could see easily cutting this card. Vigorspore Worm, another card I could see easily getting cut. It's only 6 mana, so that's nice, but it does die to a lot of things with that 4 toughness. But can get gang blocked, so that's nice. It can take out at least something. And, giving +X and Vigilance is nice. Means that the thing's not going to die because the toughness is being bumped up, so I like that. So overall, Undergrowth creatures, not very exciting. There's a few there, but most of them are just kind of yawns, I'd have to say. Now let's go into the creatures that help the graveyard or care about it. Underrealm Lich. Now this is exciting. 5 mana for a 4/3, that's okay. But the fact that you can just dig 3 cards each turn, yeah, that's really good. And then you can pay 4 life, make him indestructible, so he's going to be taking care of so many things. Doom Whisperer. Okay, so we got 5 mana for 6/6 with Frample. It's a demon, so it has to have a downside, right? Pay 2 life, Surveil 2. That's it. No, this card's like the best card in the set. It's so good for limited. It's just a bomb, hard to deal with, does so many things. But you're going to play as any black deck. It's amazing. Golgari Finebroker. Hey, I'll take an Eternal Witness anytime, even if it's this horrible mana cost. It's a 3/4, so blocks really nice. You get a permanent back. Great card. Carnal Troll. This guy I'm a little iffy about just because, yeah, 3 mana for 4/4 with Trample is nice, but his abilities, he can get sacrificed, which sucks. So I don't see him coming down on turn 3 that often, but he can get out of control, just get a ton of counters on him. Really like that. What sucks though is he kind of goes against Undergrowth. So yeah, what's up with that? Like he makes your Undergrowth worse because he's exiling him. Crawl Swarm. There's another one I'm not quite sure about because it's 5 mana, but 4 in the air does hurt if it hits. It's just this thing's going to die to everything. And when you do its ability, it only goes to your hand and not to the battlefield. So not what I'm looking for really. But I could see playing it just because, in Sealed, Flyers can win you the game, and 4 is a lot of damage. Glowspore Shaman. Glowspore Shaman. Now this is really good early game. It can help you fix mana. But late game, this card just kind of sucks because you're only getting land, and I'm sure towards the end of the game, you're like, I don't need land. I just, need to get things in the graveyard, so this is why I'm playing this. So this is a great enabler to get things in the graveyard, and early game, fix your mana up. Other than that, Plague Crafter, hey, kind of removal, kind of a way to deal with Planeswalkers. Not really, but I mean, it has so many things going on. 3 mana for a 3/2, I'll play that. You can play this, sacrifice it, and then they have to sacrifice a creature or discard a card. It does a lot. I like it. Very versatile. Portcullis Vine, not the most exciting card, but it is a way to fill your graveyard with creatures. You just sacrifice this, draw a card. Put it down early, block a few things. When it's outclassed, sacrifice it, draw a card, and get some Undergrowth. Pilfering Imp, not very excited about this, but it is a way, to get a creature in the graveyard and have a little effect. It's just the effect is underwhelming and at sorcery speed. So maybe you can get a few attacks in, then use its ability and have Undergrowth. All right, that does it for the graveyard. So let's just move on to creatures that are just good. Nullhide Ferox. So 4 mana for 6/6 with hexproof. What? That's so good. You can't cast non-creature spells, which that sucks because your removal is just offline then. And its ability that anyone can pay 2 to turn off its hexproof, that really sucks. But then again, you still have a 6/6 for 4 mana, so it's not too bad. It's basically them paying 2 extra mana to use their kills. And its other ability, I mean, not really gonna come into play too much. Beast Whisperer, this card's amazing. Any green deck wants this. I mean, you're always gonna cast creatures in limited, and this means you're always gonna be drawing spells when you do, so really nice. And it's a 2/3, so it survives to a few things. Swarm Guildmage. This is a really nice finisher. 5 mana to give everything +1/+1 in minutes, so if you have tokens or just a bunch of creatures, they're gonna get through and do a lot of damage. And then early game, gain 2 life. It's not gonna do anything great, but really nice to have. Midnight Reaper, just another versatile creature that, isn't exciting or anything, but gets work done. Lets you draw cards, you lose a little bit of life, but it's worth it for the drawing. District Guide helps you fix your mana. 3 mana is a little bit much for a 2/2, but I mean, I'm always going to play this in my green deck because I'm going to fix my mana. Generous Stray, 3 mana for a 1/2, that's not good, but you could draw a card, sure. I'm still going to play that, even though those stats are horrible. That's too much of a mana cost. I'm still going to play this card. And look how cute he is. Affectionate Indrik, I mean, hey, kind of like a kill spell almost. I mean, you get 6 mana for a 4/4, and then you get to pretty much kill most things in this format. So yeah, really like this card. Doesn't really go with Golgari. It's not like it doesn't fit a theme or anything. It's just a really good green creature. Pitless Gorgon, a little too much at 3 mana for a 2/2 with Death Touch, but I'd still play this just because Death Touch, great early game, great late game. Though you won't be playing this too early, but it's definitely good late game. Much better as Hired Poisoner because it's only 1 black for 1 with Death Touch. You don't need high stats with Death Touch. You just need 1 damage. That's it. Now with Autrian Assassin, you get a 1 with Death Touch and the ability that all creatures have to block it. So if you have a way to like pump the power on this thing, oh, that's so good. You can take out a whole team of something. 3 mana, a little bit high, but for what it does, totally worth it. All right, let's talk about removal. Assassin's Trophy, the card everybody wants. Probably the reason you'll pick Golgari as your guild. It's cheap, it destroys almost anything. I mean, yeah, they get a land, and that's gonna kind of hurt, especially in sealed if, they're stuck on lands or something. But the fact that you can just take out their bomb or whatever, totally worth it. Prey Upon, oldie but goodie. 1 mana, sorcery speed, you just fight. It's really good for this because there's a lot of Death Touch, so your 1/1 can take out their 5/5 just using this. Dead Weight, another cheap removal. -2/-2, that's fine for this because there's a lot of X1s and X2s that this can kill. And, if you just need to maybe do a little bit extra damage, maybe your 2/2 didn't kill your 3/3, now you just put this on there, it's dead. Deadly Visit, hey, 5 mana to kill anything, and you can just Surveil 2. Surveil's great for this type of deck. You want to get things in the graveyard, so yeah. Necrotic Wound, because it has Undergrowth, and target creatures -X/-X. So if you were, any other black deck, and you didn't have things in your graveyard, this would be like -1, -1, -2, -2. Here it could be -5, -5, and that's amazing for 1 mana at instant speed. Then Price of Fame, just instant 4 mana, destroy target creature, Surveil 2, and if it's legendary, just happens to be 2 mana less. So amazing removal, so many things going on, love it. Severed Strands is a way to get something that's on your board into the graveyard, so help with Undergrowth, and you get to gain a little bit of life, and destroy any creature, all for the cheap cost of 2 mana. Now let's go on to just other spells, basically. Start with Vraska, Golgari Queen. So you got 4 mana for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. That's fine. Her +2, it's not the best because you do have to sacrifice a permanent, but it can be lands, so that's good. And you get to gain life, draw a card. So late game, you're sacrificing your lands, drawing cards, gaining life. I'll take that. Her -3, not very exciting either. It is destroy target non-land permanent, but it has to have a converted mana cost of 3 or less. So the stuff they played early in the game, you're going to kill, but the stuff that's later that might be bombs, not going to be able to touch that. So that kind of sucks. But her -9 emblem is whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. So amazing. Good luck trying to get to that. I mean, yeah, there are ways that you can still do that emblem and you're not going to win. But wow, if you don't, what are you even doing? Undercity Uprising, this might as well be 4 mana removal. It's your whole team gets Death Touch, which is already awesome. And then one creature fights a creature you don't control. So your 1/1, you escape Death Touch, now have killed their 6/6 or something like that. And then you get to attack and just make blocking horrible for them. We got a split card here, a Fine Finality. The fine part, that's great. It's cheap. Sorcery, but still it's cheap. So you're getting creatures back that, you know, maybe you had to get it in your graveyard for Undergrowth, but now you want them back. And the other one's basically a board wipe that can save your creatures. So that's great for late game too at 6 mana. Bounty of Might. 6 mana, give 3 creatures +3/+3 until end of turn. And it's an instant. That's amazing. That is such a good combat trick. Love this card. Yeah, 6 mana is a lot, but I mean, late game, this is going to win you the game sometimes. Another split card, Status Statue. I mean, for 1 mana, giving a creature +1/+1 Death Touch, that's great. I'll play that. And the other one is just destroy so many things. Artifact, creature, enchantment for 4 mana. You're always going to play that. That is a really good card. Circuitous Route. This is a way to fix your mana. It's a little expensive at 4 and at sorcery, but you're getting 2 lands and it can be gates. So that's nice. Just wish they came to play untapped, but you know, that'd just be a little too good, I guess. Might of the Masses, 1 mana to give +1/+1 to a creature for all other creatures you control. Probably better than the Celestian deck, but can still do work in Golgari, so I'm not gonna fault it for that. And lastly, Golgari Locket. All the Lockets you should pretty much play in your sealed pool because they help fix mana, and the fact you can draw 2 cards from them, that is so good. Even if it is, you know, a little bit weird on the mana cost, it doesn't matter. You're going to be these 2 colors anyway. Drawing 2 cards late game, that's just totally worth it. Now let's talk about some cards I think are just bad for Golgari. Erstwhile Trooper. This is just too slow. 3 mana for a 2/2. I mean, I don't want to play that, especially at 2 colors. But you have to discard a creature card, and then it becomes a 4/4 with trample, and you can only do this once. Like, no, I don't want to do that. That's just too much setup cost for not enough payoff. Arbitrum Elemental. It's 9 mana with Convoke, which I can see in Celestian deck, but in a Golgari deck, you don't want to be doing this. This is way too much. Some Convoke maybe you can do, but this one, it costs too much, and you're not going to have a ton of tokens or anything, so can't play this one, sorry. Grappling Sundew. This is just a dirty card. I don't really know what this is for. 5 mana, give it indestructible. I mean, it's going to be dead before then, probably. I guess late game, it can block some things, but what are you doing with this? Vivid Revival, too much mana for probably not getting your full value's worth. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of gold cards, but I'm not taking a whole turn off just to return things from my graveyard to my hand. Gruesome Menagerie, same thing. Too much mana for just not hitting enough targets, I'd say. You're not going to be able to getting all 3 creatures with this, so no thank you. Vicious Rumors. It's a cheap card, but its abilities aren't even worth the 1 mana, I'd say. Just avoid this card. It doesn't even come close to doing enough. Whispering Snitch, just not made for Golgari. This is a Demure card, so stay away from this. Yeah, 2 mana for a 1/3 is okay, but I'd probably put in anything else besides this. Now let's talk about some sideboard cards. Crushing Canopy. You maybe, if there's enough flyers, could mainboard this, but I don't think there's going to be in this set. But definitely sideboard this. You know, Game of Enchantments is nice too. Sprouting Renewal. I could see mainboarding this too, just because you can invoke 1 and this becomes 2 mana, and then it's worth it. But destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's a sideboard card usually. But the nice part where you make a 2/2 token, hey, I want to do that just so I can sacrifice it for another ability in Golgari. So could see mainboarding this if I don't have enough, but mainly keeping the sideboard, I'd say. Mephitic Vapors, I'm going to say put this in a sideboard, you know, against Selesnya or Boros or something, because it will take out some of your creatures, and sometimes it just won't do enough. I think you need to see if this goes against a certain deck. You don't just jam this into your main board. Same with Ritual of Soot. It's only getting rid of convert mana cost 3 or less, so once again, I'm going to be hitting a lot of your things. Late game, this doesn't do enough, so I say sideboard it in if you are playing against a Boros or token deck or something, because this will take out so many tokens. So that does it for Golgari. I think how you're going to want to play this is not focusing on Undergrowth too much. Basically, what you're going to do is play a green-black good stuff deck. You know, kill spells, a bunch of death touch, just making sure things get into the graveyard. So that means making trades. Trade up if you can. Don't trade down. Don't, you know, just jam your 2/2 against a 3/3, knowing it's going to die, so in the graveyard. Make sure if they attack with a 2/2 and you have a 3/2, you know, just make that trade, kill their creature, you get your thing in the graveyard. Helps with Undergrowth. I think you want to use Undergrowth as, like, you know, a little icing on the cake. You're going to be wanting to get your creatures in the graveyard, but you're not going to be like, I need to get 8 of them in here for this to really be good. You're just going to be like, oh, it's incidental, that's nice, but I'm also playing a really good Golgari deck. Also, you want to play a ton of creatures because you're going to be putting a lot of them in the graveyard from play and just from your library or hand. So you want to make sure you have, you know, a ton of creatures. Also have common ways to get things into the graveyard, like Surveil cards, just using those to get things to make your Undergrowth happen, but not focusing on just that. And this is sealed, and you will go 3 colors a lot of times. I think the best color to go with Golgari is Dimir, mainly because of Surveil. So some cards to look out for are House Guildmage, the best card in the set. This guy, you know, helps with combat, and you can just Surveil 2 late in the game, help you out a lot there. Notion Rain, a great way to dig into your library, get some things in the graveyard. It's a common too, so that's good. Connive Concoct. The Connive part, you know, not too important, but that Concoct part, that's awesome. Surveilling 3 and then returning something from your graveyard to your battlefield. Doesn't have to be a thing you're surveilled, just anything that's died. So Discovery and Dispersal. Once again, Discovery helps you surveil in your draw card, and Dispersal, you know, helps out with combat or against tokens or something, just making them bounce stuff. City Watch Sphinx. City Watch Sphinx, it's a flyer, that's always great. And when it dies, you get to surveil 2, so if you need to sacrifice something maybe, you do this, which is going to hurt, but you get to surveil also. Night Veil Sprite, another little flyer, a very little flyer, for only 1 power, but you get to surveil every time it attacks. And lastly, Lazav, the Multifarious. You're going to have a ton of creatures in your graveyard. He cares about creatures because he just gets to copy them. Pretty good, I have to say, and he's super cheap, so he comes down early or late, doesn't matter, because he becomes whatever you want to be. All right, thank you very much. Keep an eye out for my other Guilds of Ravnica pre-release guides. If you want to follow me on Twitter, booster_tutor, and see you next draft. This program brought to you by viewers like you.